goodness.
So it was hard. But anyway, let's get back into it. So after the Kanye things, how do you get into doing the John? Like, how is this whole process? You become the EP on the Johnsons, this show, dope show. I was in there, you know, I had to bootleg the preview because I missed the original preview. But now I'm locked in on bouncetv.com. Go there.
In elementary school, we all had to line up in alphabetical order for lunch. These guys were next to me because we all had the same last name. These guys are my brothers.
I was calling you because I was wondering if you've seen Greg.
Oh, he's working right now.
So he's with you right now.
I can't hear you.
Break is off.
Okay, bye.
He's just hung up. You believe that?
I sure can. Men don't break the code, girl.
She got you cooking breakfast. She got you home for the street lights. Come on. What are you running from? I'm not running. I'm walking fast. Yeah, well, you're walking fast from the truth. Trust me, man. You don't want to lose that.
You kids these days, y'all get with somebody because they fine or if they got a lot of followers. Fine ain't gonna raise your kids right.
You don't have to fight me on everything.
It's funny how when I don't submit, you see it as a fight.
She's hardly home. Work's a top priority.
Everybody grows. Most people grow apart.
So where are your friends you always come here with? It's really good to see the bond that you guys have. Now, real friends, they're rare.
Jarvis needs to hear the truth sometimes, okay? He's been tripping lately.
Your truth isn't Jarvis's truth, Greg.
And I think sometimes we can be overly sensitive. And white people are tired of us talking about this.
Who, like your wife, Lisa?
Things just ain't the same with Greg and me. Like I've changed or something. Black women weren't checking for me when I didn't have nothing. Now I got something. All of a sudden I sold out. My mother used to say to me that if you listen to someone long enough, they'll tell you who they really are. I hear you loud and clear.
It is damn hard to find a way to grow together, but you got to concentrate on the simple things you did when you first met. Hold on to them.
What y'all, brothers or something?
That's right. Just different moms and dads.
Jonson, an all-new Bounce original series, premieres August 1st.
Get it, you know what I'm saying? If you're not in the Bounce TV radius, St. Louis is not. Yeah, we're not out.
Yeah, should. Well, it depends on.
I got 18.
Oh yeah, it's not on AT&T. So like, if you have,
I go to the website.
Is it on the website?
The you got to wait a couple of weeks to get the previous episode.
Got it. Okay.
It ain't up to date.
They have Brown Sugar too.
Right. Yeah, you get the Brown Sugar app as well.
Yeah.
So explain the show, how you got involved with, give the people the premise of, you know, what the show is, all that good stuff.
Sure. So Jonson on Bounce TV, it is a project that was created by a guy named Deji Luray, who also is one of the executive producers, and he's also one of the leads. He plays the character Greg on the show. Okay. And so he wrote You're doing a little
Spike Lee stuff where I'm gonna put myself in it too. Like I've never do.
Yeah. So he wrote this about the pilot about 6 years ago.
Wow.
And he ended up meeting Thomas shortly thereafter, maybe 2 years later. And they shot up
Thomas Jones too, though, who is seamlessly transition careers and can tell you and showing you like that you don't get stuck in one thing of having to only be an athlete and only known as an athlete or whatever you are. If you want to go for after something else, you can switch it up if you're good at it.
Yeah, like he legit didn't know anything about acting until he got into it, you know? And so I tell him all the time, like, I'm just really proud of him because to your point, what you just said, like he literally has changed careers, you know, and he's known for acting. You know, there are some people who don't even know him as a football player. They know him as an actor. So
everybody in Frawley Hall knows on October.
But yeah, so like he's doing such a great job with that. So yeah, he and Deji are producing partners rather. And I ended up meeting Thomas in 2016 through a mutual friend of ours. He was in a short film that she was producing. Shout out to Natasha Ward. And I was actually assisting her because she's a casting director and producer. And when I left NBC Universal, I was trying to really get my feet wet into casting as well as music supervising. So I was reaching out to all my friends who were in those two spaces to learn more about it, just to see if it was something I really, really wanted to get into. And so I told Tosh, I was like, I'll help you, you know, I'll assist you with whatever you need. And, you know, you don't have to pay me, I just want to learn, you know? And so I helped her cast this short film in addition to like a Bill Duke project and some other stuff that she was doing. And Thomas and Tori Hart were the leads in the short film. So it was my job to connect them via email. I had to call Thomas and Tori to make sure they knew where to go and all that good stuff, and what the, just the logistics of what was going on with the project. And so I had never met him in person though. So that was 2016. Then fast forward to 2018, I was at a cookout. My mentor had a cookout, and in comes Thomas and Deji. And so when I saw Thomas, I was like, hey, we've met before, but not in person. I was like, I'm Reesha. I helped Natasha with that project you were in a couple of years ago. He was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So he remembered the whole scenario, and we got to talking, went to exchange information. And he had my number still, and I had his number still. So we laughed at that, didn't keep in touch like we said. Then we ended up bumping into each other at this spot called The Dime out here in LA. And we're like, we got to get together still. So we got together, and he showed me Jonson. Like, he literally was like, we were in a loud space. So he was showing me the pilot on his phone, but telling me.
He had shot the pilot already.
Yes. They had shot the pilot. So Deji wrote it 6 years ago. They shot the pilot 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so
is that the pilot that we see when we see the show, or it's it's repackaged and stuff?
Yeah. Because the pilot was shot in LA, and the pilot for Jonson is in Atlanta now.
Right.
Yeah. So he was showing me the pilot, and I was like, yo, and like telling me what it was about. And I was like, yo, this is dope. Like, please send this to me, because like this show reminds me of the men in my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like this reminds me of my uncles and my daddy and my cousins and my ex-boyfriends, and just the great men in my life. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect, and they deal with crazy situations, but that's life. You know what I'm saying? And it honestly reminded me of, like, Thomas described it to me as like the male insecure, but I like to describe it as if the best man or the brothers were on television, it would be Jonson.
Right, like if it was more developed as a serial series instead of a movie.
Exactly. So so I was like, please send this to me. And so he did. I sent it to my team. I work for Cedric the Entertainer and Eric Rohn's production company.
Yo, man, STL, stay together, boy.
We stay together, man. Yo, like, man, I love those men so much. I had in 2018, I started working with them. I had just started working on Luke Cage. And
yeah, I forgot those other with the Cheo stuff, man.
Slipping, cuz.
So you worked on Luke Cage too? Oh, that's I know that. I'm just everybody else to know. Like, okay, keep going.
It's all good.
I'm a horrible interviewer.
I got off. No, you've been doing great. You remember a lot of stuff that I was like, wasn't even thinking of. But I just got the job on Luke, and I hit up Eric just to tell him what was going on with me. So for those who don't know Eric Rohn is like the man behind the man. Like, he's Cedric's manager.
I always want to give Eric Rohn, if this is a small story, he came to one of Freetime's first events and showed us super love.
Really?
When we started doing, do you remember we was doing Thursdays at Posh? He came through there and he was like, y'all young. He's like, y'all got it sophisticated up in here. We had the band with the DJ, and he came in with two other cats. They was just sitting there chilling with some wine and chilling out. And he was told me and Roy, and he was like, y'all got something going here, man. And he's like, y'all young, but this is sophisticated. That's the only time I ever met him. So that's dope.
He is dope, man. When I tell you he looks out for St. Louis so tough.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I already know.
He STL through and through. Like,
did he go to SEMO with Cedric?
He did. That's how they met.
Was that fraternity brothers too, right?
They are, yep. And he's been managing set since college.
Really? That long?
Yep. That long.
That's some down by law.
Yep.
Wow.
And so, like, he's been the one, like, managing everything for Ced and working out deals for Ced and other people, he's that dude. Like, I mean, of course, in St. Louis, he sits on all kind of boards and has his own foundation with his wife and just does a lot of great things in the community in St. Louis. And so I reached out to him because he's like a big brother to me. So I would like reach out, you know, and just check in with him throughout the time I was in LA. And when I got the job on Luke, I was like, yeah, Eric, I got this job on Luke Cage. And at the time I had a film that was a finalist with the Gentleman Jack Reel to Reel competition. Jack Daniels, Gentleman Jack had a—
Yeah, which one was that? You know, I helped sponsor. I mean, that was one of my sponsors. Which one was that one with the girl that had the
Yeah, Daddy's Big Girl. The little girl had died.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sorry that the little girl died. The daddy died, but she could see her daddy. Yeah.
Yep.
Daddy's Big Girl. So yeah, I helped produce that, and that ended up winning that competition. So like all that was happening at this time at the same time. And so I hit Eric just to let him know what was going on. And he was like, let's get together. I'm in LA right now. I was like, okay, cool. So I got together with him. And he was like, well, we just got this contract with CBS and we're looking to expand our team by 2 executives. I would love to pitch you. And I was like, oh, whatever that means. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, because at that time I had produced so many things. You know, I was a story associate producer on a TV show with Shawnee O'Neal and her kids. Her and Shaq's kids. I had done some other, that was on VH1. I had done another pilot for Lifetime. I had produced several short films and a feature documentary. So I had definitely gotten my, in another, independent TV show. So I had really gotten my feet wet in the production realm. And so yeah, when he asked me to do it, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I didn't know what it all entailed, but I'm like, if Eric Rohn sees something valuable in me that, will be value added to his team, then you better go ahead and say yes. You know what I'm saying? So we had a meeting. He pitched it to set and we had a meeting with his wife, who I know as well. Shout out to Angie Rohn. And the next thing I know, they like, bet you on. So I've been working with Eric and Cedric since 2018.
So is this The Neighborhood, all those shows as well?
So I don't work directly on The Neighborhood, but
because I knew you said a CBS deal. That's why I think you was in the CBS.
Yeah, the Neighborhood is up under the Bird and the Bear umbrella. It is one of their shows that they produce. Yes, but so they have a first look deal with CBS. So for instance, what that means is if you have a project and we acquire it and develop it, we take it to CBS first because they have to.
So you got to take the brothers to CBS first. Not the brothers. Why do I keep calling it the brothers? Jonson. You got to take Jonson to CBS first.
Yep. And then I took it around town, and everybody loved it, but they didn't pick it up. I took it to Bounce, and actually, I set up a meeting with the head of programming over at Scripps. He's one of the executive vice presidents, David Hudson over at Scripps. And Scripps is the parent company to like Bounce and Court TV and Ion and all these other networks. And so took it to David. He loved it. We had a meeting in January of 2020 and he loved it. I set up the meeting with him, Deji Thomas, Eric and I, and he loved it immediately. Like, he's a brother though, so he got it right out the gate.
Yeah, you relate to it.
Yeah. So
and honestly, no disrespect to CBS in saying this, but I don't think CBS would have been able, even if that wouldn't have been a show that was going to be supported well on CBS's network anyway. So that was a blessing by not having to be able to go there, because CBS is, I wouldn't say it's a dying network. I just feel that it's the oldest of all the major networks, the way they're programming it.
Yeah, and they're trying to fix it.
Yeah, I know they